Hello everyone, this is UPSC 2024 Agriculture Optional Paper 2. So the question is, describe the process of anaerobic respiration and explain the factors affecting respiration. So this is of 20 marks question and you have to attempt in the range of 250 to 300 words. So first of all, what do you mean by anaerobic respiration? Anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen or when oxygen concentration is less than 1%. Here, the stored food is incompletely oxidized and it is rare and occurs in microorganisms like yeast. So this is the brief introduction about the anaerobic respiration, that it takes place in the absence of oxygen or when oxygen concentration is less than 1%. Now this is the reaction for anaerobic respiration. Here, this is the glucose molecule C6H12O6 and it is converted into the ethanol plus CO2, and here 56 kilocalories is produced, which is very less amount of energy, while in case of aerobic respiration here 686 kilocalories are produced. Now the anaerobic respiration, it occurs in two steps. Number one is glycolysis, it is also called EMP pathway, and second is fermentation. And this glycolysis pathway is common to both aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. In case of aerobic respiration, when the glucose molecule is converted to the pyruvic acid in the glycolysis, it enters into the Krebs cycle, while in case of anaerobic respiration, after the completion of the glycolysis step, the pyruvic acid enters into the fermentation step. So first is glycolysis. Here glycolysis is also called stepwise degradation of glucose to pyruvic acid. So this is the flow chart of the glycolysis. So here it is the glucose, it is converted to glucose 6-phosphate in the presence of hexokinase enzyme, and here one molecule of ATP is utilized to produce the ATP. Then glucose 6-phosphate is converted to fructose 6-phosphate in the presence of isomerase enzyme. Then fructose 6-phosphate is converted to fructose 1,6-diphosphate in the presence of phosphofructokinase enzyme. Here also one molecule of ATP is utilized to produce one ATP. Then fructose 1,6-diphosphate is converted into two molecules. Number one is dihydroxyacetone phosphate in the presence of aldolase enzyme, while 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde in the presence of inorganic phosphate molecule. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate can be converted into the 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde in the presence of phosphotriose isomerase and vice versa. Then this dihydroxyacetone and 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde molecule, they are converted to 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid. Then this 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid is converted to 3-phosphoglyceric acid in the presence of phosphoglyceric acid kinase enzyme, and here the 2 ADP molecules are utilized to produce the 2 ATP. Then 3-phosphoglyceric acid is converted to 2-phosphoglyceric acid in the presence of phosphoglyceromutase enzyme. Then 2-phosphoglyceric acid is converted to 2-phosphoenol pyruvic acid in the presence of enolase enzyme. Then this 2-phosphoenol pyruvic acid is finally converted to the pyruvic acid in the presence of pyruvic acid kinase enzyme, and here again the 2 ADP molecules are utilized to produce the 2 ATP. So this is the all about glycolysis. Now this is the rough calculation of the glycolysis step. Here the net 8 ATPs are produced in the glycolysis step. The 2 ATPs are used in the glycolysis process and 4 ATPs are produced. So there is a net gain of 2 ATPs, while 2 NADH2 is produced. So 1 NADH2 molecule produces 3 ATP. So 2 NADH2 produces 6 ATP. So total 6 plus 2, 8 ATPs are produced in the glycolysis. Now this pyruvic acid in case of aerobic respiration will enters into the Krebs cycle, while in case of anaerobic respiration, fermentation process will follow the glycolysis step. So here in fermentation there are two types of fermentation. First is lactic acid fermentation. Here the breakdown of pyruvic acid to lactic acid is not common in higher plants and it is found in animal tissues, and muscle glycolysis is the perfect example of it. So lactic acid fermentation is generally not found in the plants and it is found in the animals, and it is applicable to the humans also. When we do excessive exercise suddenly, then there is a formation of the lactic acid in our muscles, so which cause pain. So that is due to the formation of the lactic acid fermentation in our muscles. So this is the reaction. Here the pyruvic acid will be converted to the lactate in the presence of lactate dehydrogenase enzyme, and here NADH2 will be converted to the NAD+. Then second is ethanol or alcoholic fermentation. Here under it the pyruvic acid is converted into ethyl alcohol and CO2, and it is very common in the yeast and many plant tissues. So this is the reaction for the alcoholic fermentation. Here it is a two-step process. Firstly, the pyruvic acid is converted into acetaldehyde in the presence of pyruvate decarboxylase, and here one CO2 is produced, and then acetaldehyde is converted to the ethanol in the presence of alcohol dehydrogenase, and here NADH2 is utilized to produce NAD+. So in the alcoholic fermentation we get ethanol plus CO2. So this is all about the anaerobic respiration. Now the second part of the question is factors affecting the respiration. So here two types of factors are there. First is internal factors and second is external factors. So in the internal factors, here protoplasmic factors and concentration of the respiratory material are there. So in case of protoplasmic factors, like young actively growing cells with dense metabolically active protoplasm have a higher rate of respiration, while dull or older cells, they have a lesser rate of respiration. Then concentration of the respiratory material. Higher concentration of these materials like glucose, fats and proteins, they provide more substrate for the energy production and thereby they increase the respiration rate. Now second is external factors. In external factors like temperature, light, oxygen concentration, CO2 concentration, water availability and injuries, these are some of the external factors. So first is temperature. The enzymes involved in the respiration, they are temperature sensitive. So moderate temperature is suitable for the higher respiration rate, because higher temperature will inactivate the enzymes while lower temperature will deactivate the activity of enzymes. Then light. The light affects the photosynthesis process, which produces glucose and oxygen, and both are necessary for respiration, while in the dark conditions the photosynthesis process do not occur. Then oxygen concentration. If there is a low oxygen concentration, anaerobic respiration will occur. If there is a high oxygen concentration, aerobic respiration will occur. And then CO2 concentration. Higher CO2 levels, they inhibit certain enzymes and they alters the pH, which suppress the respiration. So higher CO2 concentration is also not good for respiration rate. Then water availability. Water is essential for metabolic reactions, which are essential for the respiration rate. So if there is less water available, so it will lowers the metabolic reaction, and which will affect then respiration rate. Then injuries. The injuries also affect the respiration by disrupting the cellular structure and functions. So these are factors which affects the respiration rate. So thank you and keep watching my videos.